Hey everybody, Mr. Bowman here. This is a part 2 video of the movie streaming 1.4 linear algebra internal. If you're looking for the achieve stuff, we've done the achieve stuff in the previous video. You can kind of see it there in blue. But today we're focusing on the merit parts, which comes in part 2, and a little bit of it comes into part 3. I should note a full completed part 3 gets you excellence, but a partially completed part 3 will lock in your merit. So what we're going to do, hopefully you've recognized the stuff on the right. These were all the Desmos outputs we had regarding part A. My first step, I'm just going to copy all the equations with the colors. I'm just going to copy that down here, just so I have that information readily available to me. And once I've done that, let's actually read the question. Let's see what we've been asked to do. So at school, Jack's media and film teacher wants to encourage and watch that doesn't make sense. Wants to encourage everyone to listen to some films for homework. She asked Jack to put together information which would explain the best option for users who downloaded up to 50 songs. So that's important to note. We stop at 50. This would allow them to look up the hours normally streamed and choose the subscription that has the best price. So the first thing to note regarding this, we've got that purple y equals 25 line from part 1. If you click the purple circle, you can just get rid of that line. So don't X out, just click the purple circle, leave that there in case you need to come back to it for something else. What we're going to do, what this story is asking, we're asking to tell a bit of a story from 0 hours to 50 hours when each company is cheapest, and if we can provide some information on prices, we should look to do that. So what that means is if we start down the bottom here, the y-intercept at 12, and we follow the green line up, this portion of the graph tells us that the green company, which if we go to our color code is AdWalt, so that tells us AdWalt is cheapest between these blocks. Where the lines touch each other, they are both the cheapest. So you could pick either of those two companies. From here, the red company is cheapest. That's Me Cylinder. At this point here, the blue line tells us that both companies are cheapest. Blue and red will be equal cheapest. And from here onwards, the blue company is cheapest because it's just a horizontal line. So our job is, by clicking on these points of intersection, you can see the grey dots come up. I'm going to click it again to get the black dot come up, and I'm going to click the other one. So I've got those two black dots coming up. Notice this third dot up here, this third intersection, not relevant because it's not the cheapest at that point. So I don't actually care about that particular bit of information. And from here, we're going to start telling a bit of a story as to what the cheapest are. So there should be 5 bullet points to our answer. One here, one representing the dot, one representing this red chunk, another representing the dot, and the 5th and final representing that blue part over there. So let's get into this question. So the following is a price guide for Jack's media median and film teacher. So we're going to start off with between 0 and this here says 12.667. So that's 2/3 of an hour, which is 40 minutes. So that there's actually 10 hours, 40 minutes. And same up here, 26 hours, 40 minutes. So we just need to use that. So for F0 greater than X greater than 10 hours, 40 minutes, then the green company was AdWalt, then AdWalt is cheapest. So that's a nice easy start. So at 10 hours, 40 minutes, both companies, red and blue, or red and green, are cheapest, and they cost $28. So we could probably add that information there. If X equals 10 hours, 40 minutes, then both AdWalt and Me Cylinder, which is the red line, are equal cheapest at $28. So I've got 2 of the 5 parts done. I'm now going to talk about this bottom red part over here. So between 10 hours and 40 minutes and 26 hours and 40 minutes, Me Cylinder is going to be the cheapest. So if X has to be greater than 10 hours, 40 minutes, less than 26 hours, 40 minutes, then me cylinder is cheapest. So we've done the red line. We're now up to the fourth bit. That's the intersection, the next dot. So 26 hours, 40 minutes exactly. Both me cylinder and Java good are $40 exactly. So if 26 hours, or if x equals 26 hours, 40 minutes, then both me cylinder and Java good are equal cheapest at, and the price is the 40 sitting over here at $40. And then finally the fifth part, that's the remainder of the blue line, just scooting on over here. If we've got, what was that, 26 hours, 40 minutes, if x is more than that, then Java good is cheapest. So there's our price guide. And I guess we should note earlier on, because we're referring to this x stuff quite a bit, let's just say let x refer to the number of hours streamed. Just to give the teacher a bit more information. I just realized filmed has that funny symbol in there. We'll get rid of that. So that's the first part of merit. I suppose technically the second part, because the communication or the recommendation part from the achieve section, that's actually one of those merit criteria, but you do that up there in the achieve section. The second merit criteria was the price guide, is what we call it. We've got that there. And the last merit criteria is going to come through in this part 3 part. So you need to do all 3 parts to make sure you're getting your merit. So me cylinder, just a reminder, me cylinder was that red line, the red line going up and down here, finds that the company is not getting enough subscribers. They think they can be the cheapest service for people who download up to 50 songs. What changes to their pricing would need to be made to allow them to make as much money as possible? And this has got the blurb that just basically saying good answers will get merit. Really good answers will get the excellence. So what we're doing is, just a reminder, me cylinder is who we're focusing on. That's the red graph. So we can actually get rid of the current red line. So you see I'm getting rid of that line. So that red line is gone, and we need to come up with another pricing model for up to 50 hours, which makes them cheaper. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the coordinates that are relevant to me on our Desmos. So I'm just going to do 0, 12, and you'll see that dot come up there. And at 50, up and down here, we can see 50, 40. So we need a line that connects these 2 points. So let's put in 50, 40, just to make my life a bit easier. So if I can connect these lines, these points here, I'm going to be the cheapest at all of the points. Okay, so let's get into this question here. So I'm going to get rid of all that equation nonsense. So the y-intercept of the new model that I'm looking to form, well, c will be equal to 12 because of the y-intercept down here. So c equals 12. The gradient's going to be a bit more annoying to figure out, but the gradient is m, and that's equal to rise over run, which in this case, if you look, we're at 12 and we go all the way up to 40. So that rise is going to be 28. And it's going to be over the run. We start at 0 and we go all the way over to 50. So the run will be 50. And if you put that into calculator, hopefully you're going to get 0.56. Once you've got the y-intercept and the gradient, we can form the equation. New pricing model for me cylinder. So y equals 0.56, which is the gradient x, plus 12. So we've got our new model over here. And if you put this into your Desmos, so I'm just going to go Control-C, Control-V, you can see it connects perfectly those dots that I wanted to. And what that means is, at any value between 0 and 50, the me cylinder company is going to be the cheapest one to look at. So that's really good. The reason this is a merit answer, because it's actually almost too cheap. So you see the big gap at this point here, that's a huge gap. So that's way cheaper. And remembering, if we look back to the question, they want to make as much money as possible. So getting the line closer to the other lines will be the best way to maximize their profits. And that's what the excellence part is, thinking of other graphs that can be closer to those lines. So the only other thing we need to do for the merit section is we just need to explain what this pricing model actually means in context. And then once we've done that, we can end this video, and then we can look at this last part, but in a more comprehensive excellence manner. And I suppose I should note, actually, the domain here, you can see the graph is less than 0. It's got these negative values here, and the graph also goes above 50. We don't actually want those. So let's enter in the domain to get rid of those. So x must be greater than 0, but it must be less than and equal to 50. And oh gosh, and there you go. And you can see, I'll keep doing that plus sign. There we go. And you can see the lines stopped in between those two now, just by using that. So I'll drag this out just so you can see that equation a bit better. So let's get the domain entered into my right up here as well. If you need to do greater than or equal to, just put a greater than or equal sign next to each other like that. That'll do the trick. There we go. So this new pricing model means that me cylinder would need to charge a $12 monthly subscription fee. That relates to the $12 y-intercept, so it starts at $12, right? So it doesn't matter how much you stream, you're always going to pay $12. And after that, the gradient, 0.56, that tells us you're paying 56 cents for every hour that you stream. Then a 56 cents per hour charge for every hour streamed. And that's just that contextual element in relation to this part here. So that wraps up our merit discussion. The two key parts are the pricing guide, which we can see up here, and an attempt at the new pricing model. As I said, this one isn't the best attempt because you're not maximizing your profit. It's actually quite off. And in the next video, we'll delete all this, and then we'll do a better answer for our new model. So thanks so much for watching. If you haven't watched the Achieve video, I'll leave a link into the description, and the Excellence video is going to come out shortly, so keep an eye out for that, or keep an eye out in the description for it.